Hello and welcome to my sculpting channel and 3D print. My name is Carlos and today I want to show you how you can create your own models. These are models that I created from my imagination and I want to show you that you can create your own pieces. Right now, if you're trying to sell 3D models, Etsy and other platforms, they're kind of being picky because a lot of people have their same dragon, the same models. I do believe there are many 3D models out there for everyone, but just in case, it will be not only useful, but amazing if you can create your own. So today, this is going to be a really beginner's tutorial of how I create this model using an app. This is not free, but really cheap and is for the tablets. I believe that you can have it on an Android, but I'm using an iPad and it works amazing. This is going to be an sculpting app. It's called Nomad. So stay until the end because I'm going to talk about how or two mistakes that I wish I could have fixed when I created my model so it would have been easier or better at the time of printing. Saying that, let's start. And I'm going to give you some tips along the way. To be able to create anything, we need to use brushes. On the right side, we have a lot of options. Here, you're going to find the moving tool and also a lot of brushes. Another important thing that you have to know is the menu on the left. You only have to focus on the rectangles. The two main rectangles will allow to adjust the brushes. Also, to navigate, you can use your finger or the pen. But if you want to zoom in and out, you have to use two fingers. Those are the blue dots that you can see on the screen. And if you want to erase something or just to back up some steps, you can tap with two fingers and you'll be able to undo things. Okay, knowing that, usually when you open your program, you're going to see this sphere. You don't have to use it. You can erase it. I'm going to use it to create the main head of my character, but I'm actually going to add another sphere. So to do that, we're going to go all the way on top to the right corner to these mother boxes. Basically, they're actually vertices. There are the points that create polygons and that create your mesh, your object. You have this menu. You can add, you can delete, you can clone things. An important thing also, well, you remember you have to select your object if you want to delete it. On the bottom, where it says a scene, you have a layer. So every single time you put an object on your scene, a new layer will be created. So over here, if we go to add, we'll have this sub menu, and these are some objects that we can import. So I'm gonna choose the sphere. And right away, I don't really see it on my scene because it's on top of another sphere with the same size. But I can see right away that I created another layer. Another important thing that I want to say too is that every single time that you have an object or some of the tools, not all of them, but some of the tools will give you with an extra menu. And like you can see over here on top of the sphere, I have this extra menu on the back. Some objects will allow you to deform and do a lot of things. But if you want to work on that object, you have to press the green button to validate it. Just remember that when you validate, you won't be able to use the menus on top. So I would really recommend if you want to play around and see what they do. So now that we have that, the most important tool that you're going to always use is the gizmo. The way the gizmo works in Nomad is that you have, like in 3D, you have these arrows that show the X, Y, and Z planes. If you choose them, you can move around. If you press and drag the circles inside, depending on the color that you choose, you're going to be able to rotate your object. If you want to resize the whole object, you will have to use the orange circle to do that. And also you have another option that is this sphere on top of the arrow, and that will allow you to squish the object on that direction. And we're kind of going to use all of them in a moment. But now I can move my sphere and I can see it. Another important tool that you need to use is this beach ball that pretty much it shows the views, the front, the back, the top, the right, the left. They're really useful to make sure that everything is aligned, everything is the way it should be. So now that I'm happy where I put my circle, I'm going to squish it a little bit to create that mouth. And sometimes you can add more things to kind of block your sculpture. Right now, I'm going to add another circle. I'm not going to really work on it right now, but it's going to give me an idea just comparing to where the mouth is. I'm going to be able to modify it and put it the way I want it. If I want to use my brushes and I want to affect both the spheres, I have to join them together. To do that, I need to go again to the motor boxes and then select the two layers. I want to make sure that I haven't selected the ear and I only have to press join and voila. Now we have a full mesh that I can use a tool like my smooth brush and go around it. Here's a good time to talk about the red rectangles on the left. The top one will allow you to resize your brush and see how big or how small you want your brush to affect your model. And the one below is how strong is the effect. Now in this occasion, how smooth it's gonna be, or now that I'm gonna use my move brush, how much I'm gonna be able to move. So this is really, really useful. Now that I'm finished with the skull, I'm gonna go back and reshape a little bit this mouth that looks more like a nose. And I'm gonna use the crease tool. This tool is really great, but it's more to actually refine already creases. But I'm gonna use it to kind of draw the details. Like you can see, the program already have symmetry on, meaning that I'm only drawing one side and it's mirroring to the other. This is really useful to create many things. There's a lot of things to know about symmetry, so I'm not gonna go to everything, but I'm gonna show you with the ear in a moment. So, and I'm just gonna keep working, and one of the tools that I'm gonna show you is really powerful, and it's called the mask. Pretty much the mask allows to paint on your object, and all that paint, all the dark color, it means that it's gonna be protected. If I apply any of the brushes, that area is gonna be safe. And if I paint it too much, one of the cool thing about brushes is that you can invert them. So over here below the red rectangle, I'm gonna unmask. In any brush, you will see sub. On the mask, you just unmask, and you'll be able just to kind of erase. But it's a good way to create details. But to be honest, I want to create the eyes. I don't want to protect them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the mask menu on top. I'm gonna select invert, and now the whole face is protected. So now I can go with my move brush and move it around and create the eyes. Like you can see, it looks kind of weird. It looks kind of, the edges really bad. And that's because you have certain amount of vertices of points that create your mesh. And when you're moving things, it can get deformed. So there are many, many ways to remesh. If you were in another program, I will give you tips to do maybe something else because you can make the program crash. But a Nomad is amazing. Right now I'm trying to fix it with the tools, but just in case, sometimes even if you use the smooth tool, it won't allow you because you won't have enough vertices. So the tool that we're gonna use is over here at the bottom. It's called voxel. You just have to press it, and now you have more vertices. So now that I'm happy with my face, I'm gonna go and create my ears. This is probably not the best way to create an ear. I'm gonna resize and use the move brush. I just want to show you how easy it is, like clay, to move things around, but also how you have to change views to be able to see that sometimes what you're doing in one side is not what you're doing in the other. But if you move around, you can achieve the right shape. Also, I'm going to use the mask again. There's many ways to create depth, and I'm going to show you in a moment. I'm going to show you actually, I'm going to do it with the clay brush, and you can also use that one to create eye sockets. But I'm enjoying the mask tool. And just remember, you have to go back and forth with the smooth tool, with the crease tool, just depending which effect you want to give to your character. So now that I have my ear that I'm happy, I didn't choose the option to have it mirror. When I exported the sphere, I could have chose mirror, and I would have two circles. And if I work on one, it will show on the other. But sometimes we don't know if we're going to use it. So I just want to show you. If you go to the symmetry menu, there's over here on the right top corner, we're gonna see this menu where you can choose. You can choose if you want the symmetry to be in the X, Y, and Z. You can also choose if you want to be in the world, which means that it's gonna detect all the objects. That's what I want right now, but also you can do local. And you just have to press mirror. It's gonna show a message. You just press OK, and now you have two ears exactly the way you want it without having to worry about trying to recreate it. Here I'm gonna give a better shape on the nose, and I'm gonna use, like I mentioned, clay, but I'm gonna use the sub for brushes that is invert the effect, and instead of putting clay, I'm gonna subtract the nostrils. So now I'm gonna add another object, and I'm gonna go for the torus or the donut shape, I'm gonna call it. One of the things, more if you're gonna do like toys like this that move around, the donut is not gonna be strong enough, so I recommend to just add a little bit more with the clay tool, with the smooth tool. I just go around, even with the mold tool, I just make sure that it hugs this donut I do the same thing. I grab the two layers, I join them together, and I make sure that it doesn't look that just a donut was pushed into the head, but that is part of the mesh. After I'm happy, I'm also using the inflated tool. There's other tool that you can use to thicken this circle. And now that I'm happy, I'm gonna add another donut. There's an option over here that if you press it, it's gonna make sure that if you rotate, it's gonna keep 90 degrees. So you make sure that it's completely straight. I'm gonna also deform this donut, but I'm gonna do it in a different way. I'm gonna choose the red circle and I'm gonna move it so you can see this is an easy way to create rings. I'm gonna use inflate, or again, did it too much. I'm gonna invert the brush to fix that. It's too thick right now. And now that I'm happy with that, I'm gonna bring another circle. That's gonna be the body. I'm gonna go to my top view and I'm gonna create the shape and just squish them, move it around. Use my move tool to create where my arms and legs are gonna be. And now that I kinda happy, it's time to create details. Make sure that it's hugging again that ring. One tool that I discovered that's kind of cool is this layer tool, which depending how you have it, it can add or extract a specific amount of clay, we can say, which means that it will be like a layer, and that could work to even things out and create other things. And with my clay tool, I'm just gonna put more details, and I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna invert that clay so I can create the hole for the arms and legs. And I'm just gonna keep adding some details. You can spend a lot of time adding details. That will be up to you. I want really to be something simple. Drawing, depending, it won't give you sharp edges. So I'm gonna use my crease tool to just redefine it. I'm gonna bring another donut and I'm just gonna mirror it. And the cool part of this is I can keep using the mirror option, or I can just clone the objects and having an instant all of the one that I need. And I think I'm kind of getting happy with the body. And now I'm gonna create the arms. I'm gonna use this circle. This is gonna be my arm. Just gonna squish it. And I'm gonna use another circle for the hand. Over here, I wanna do a simple detail on the hand to create like the fingers. So I'm gonna go to the symmetry and I'm gonna, instead of using global, I'm gonna use local. And that's gonna allow me just to work on that area. It's time to add the other ring to make sure that it's hugging and I'm actually giving the space before I put it in. Make sure in checking that it's not getting glue or touching any other part. That's really, really important. And now that I'm happy that I know that I have the thickness and it's in grabbing that ring, I can just mirror it and I have two right away. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab them, join them together, and I'm gonna mirror. Sometimes mirroring doesn't work exactly depending on which plane are you focusing on. But something that you can do also is just select the layer, moving them around, moving one by one. This is useful more if you want to create only one object. If you want to create like different hands, if you want to create like moving the hand or moving any other part that is not exactly symmetrical. And voila, this is my object. Let's see how it prints. Hopefully I was able to show you some tips and tricks. If it was confusing, if you needed more explanation on certain tools, please leave a comment below and I'll be more happy in the future. Create a video talking about more tools. Also, I have already created on that program this mask. I'm going to show you how I use other technique to create it. Now let's print this model. So I printed in 3 colors. Like you can see, I have these really great prints. Have this yellow one that I love. So this prints, I'm gonna show you how I close up and everything. But one of the things, a lot of people ask me, what are your settings? How can I print? And to be honest, the best thing, because it depends on the printer that you have. It depends if just your environment. It's crazy how when I start printing with a resin 3 printer, the ambient, how hot or hot was, it changed everything. The same thing, maybe not that drastic, is with the filament. This was printed with a filament. You can, of course, print it with a resin. It will be really awesome. I just want to talk about 2 things, 3 things actually. because I did with filament, this is really light. I use, well, for some I use 2 walls, I think for this one, and for the other ones I use 3 walls. But I can feel this one a little bit lighter, but they're really, really strong. My nieces, my nephew, they're kind of rough, and it holds pretty good. So I really like them. I seen how they have tossed them around the room. But well, the point is that they were we were playing, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed that nothing happened. That it doesn't have anything inside. Doesn't have infill. The infill is the lighting, and I use usually 5 to 3%. And I can see when I'm printing that is empty. No, it doesn't really have anything. That's one thing, just to make it faster, lighter, more for shipping if you're selling them. And another thing that I would have done is that because I wanted to have some details on the back shell, and I want to have that puffy shell. There's many ways to print it. There's many things that I could have done to have a better print. I'm going to show you how kind of doesn't look that good always when you have overhanging, when you have a lot of things. It's just you have to be more careful. But one thing that I've seen more with pieces like this is that the back, the bottom, even from the hand and the paw, even for the faces, and of course the tummy on the bottom is completely flat. Most of them, most dragon, even the hand is completely flat. And that's an awesome design because first of all, the problem of this is that I had too many supports. So of course I use automatic support. I didn't do it manually, which was a mistake. If you do it flat, I could have just pushed with my move tool or my clay or use the layer tool, completely flatten them. They actually, I'm gonna show in a future tutorial how there is a tool that can cut it just completely the whole thing, and it's way easier. And like that, it will be completely flat on the bed and you have almost a secure print. It will allow you also not to fail because it will be just that first layer. If the first layer is on, you're good to go. Another thing that I wish is not really a mistake, but something that I would have wished to happen with this model, and I want to talk about this just in case you want to create something that stands like this one. It doesn't stay, and the problem was the paw. If the paw, the only thing I needed to do is completely have it in a 90 degree, that would allow me to just make it a stand, and that would have been cooler. I think. I really love how it turned out. Like I say, it was simple. I didn't spend that much time. To be honest, I was watching a movie. I decided to record it just in case something come up. I didn't really have an idea what to do. I was just having fun. Like I mentioned, watching this martial art movie, and maybe that's why I did a turtle because I'm a fan of the Ninja Turtles. But to be honest, I did. It wasn't that much. It took me like 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And I have to say that I've seen people like me and people better than me, people that have more talent than me, that they struggle when they create things on paper. They're amazing at drawing or painting. And then when they use a tablet, it's a little bit difficult. The transition, it takes time. Some people right away, they're amazing. But some people like me that are more used to creating objects on Blender, it was kind of hard to do it on a tablet. It was kind of hard not to see the full screen, try to move things with my hand, with the pen. This was actually kind of uncomfortable, if that makes sense, because on my brain I was, oh, I can create it faster in this way on Blender. So I'm saying this because don't get frustrated. It can take time. But if you have a 3D printer or you're planning on getting a 3D printer, I think it's an amazing program where you can create things. Like I mentioned, the mask is actually simpler, but comment below if you want me to create something more complicated. I'm going to try to do maybe a diorama, maybe something for Halloween. I don't know. So you can see the result. Also, if you have come to the end of the of this video, thank you so much. But let me know. I'm thinking of probably putting this on my buy me a coffee, or if I'm debating if I should turn on the membership here on YouTube and put my models so people can download them, they can print them and just see how they are. And I don't know, motivate you to create more, to create your own pieces. That is the point always of this channel. So you can create it. A lot of people ask me, do you sell these things? Can you make me this? Can you sell your pieces? I'm more with the clay and all the other sculpture that I do. But I don't really have a lot of time. So the main reason I created this channel was to teach other people, not to tell other people that they can also create their own art, their own sculpture. So enjoy art and see you next time.